Operations Epic Fury and Roaring Lion. For decades, the region was locked in a gray zone of shadow wars. Diplomacy reached its terminal point, leading to a shift toward direct kinetic resolution. The largest operational deployment of stealth bombers in history begins. 30,000-pound bunker busters target hardened nuclear facilities. The strikes aim to destroy centrifuge cascades while avoiding environmental contamination. The Isfahan Nuclear Technology Center suffers monumental damage. Operation Roaring Lion focuses on blinding the state's command structure. First wave strikes neutralized dozens of anti-aircraft batteries clustered around Tehran. Achieving air superiority allows the IAF to transition to stand-in operations. Over 1,200 munitions are dropped by the joint force in a single day. 9 Iranian warships are reported destroyed in the initial offensive. The 36-hour campaign marks a fundamental rupture in the West Asian security order. Intelligence tracking allows for pinpoint accuracy on high-value targets. A joint strike kills Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei during a meeting. It is the first time since 1979 that the core leadership is physically eliminated. The Chief of the Armed Forces General Staff is among those killed. The IRGC Ground Forces Commander is eliminated in the same strike. The Secretary of the Supreme National Security Council is also confirmed dead. The Minister of Defense falls, further paralyzing the military response. The head of the nuclear weapons program is erased from the command chain. In total, nearly 50 high-ranking officials are killed in the operation. The systematic removal prevents the regime from organizing a coherent transition. The decapitation strike creates an immense leadership vacuum. The upper management of the national security apparatus has been erased. Iran invokes Article 111 to establish an interim leadership council. The council includes the president to provide a facade of continuity. Hardline figures are included as a tense internal compromise. The Guardian Council member rounds out the interim leadership body. De facto authority rests with Ali Larijani, the new paramount security chief. The deaths of most viable successors lead to internal factional struggles. The state's grip on power weakens as internal rivalries emerge. Power brokers attempt to maintain stability while searching for a long-term successor. The inclusion of a reformist is intended to maintain order during the crisis. The regime is left with few options to manage the ongoing war. The council struggles to project authority over a fractured nation. He emerges as the central power broker in a time of unprecedented vulnerability. Tehran initiates a strategy of regionalized pain. The IRGC targets Arab monarchies that host U.S. infrastructure. Direct hits are reported on government complexes in Israel. 12 civilians are killed in a strike on a residential area. Retaliatory waves target American diplomatic and military sites. Strikes cause terminal damage to Dubai's international airport. Iran aims to pressure the U.S. by striking global energy hubs. Coalition bases face repeated drone and missile attacks. Proxies mobilize to avenge the supreme leader's death. The conflict draws fire into the heart of Lebanon's capital. Joint forces strike proxy bases in Iraq to prevent a secondary front. A pinpoint operation has transformed into a broad regional crisis. A de facto blockade is established through kinetic action and electronic warfare. The vessel is hit near Oman, forcing a full crew evacuation. Projectile strikes target commercial shipping regardless of nationality. Widespread jamming affects over 1,000 ships in the region. Electronic warfare makes safe navigation nearly impossible. Shipping giants suspend all transits through the Gulf. Cargo is rerouted around the Cape of Good Hope, adding 14 days to journeys. Energy prices see a vertical spike as a fifth of the world's oil is trapped. Freight costs and carbon emissions increase significantly. The Strait of Hormuz is officially declared a war zone. Petrochemical shortages impact global automotive and electronics manufacturing. The closure of the waterway creates a dual supply shock for the world. The strikes spark a constitutional crisis over war powers and executive authority. Critics call it a war of choice, with no clear strategic endgame. Projectile debris causes outages in global cloud infrastructure. Logistics and financial networks become collateral damage in the kinetic war. The international community fractures along predictable, deepened lines. Moscow and Beijing condemn the strikes as unprovoked aggression. Russia views the decapitation as a dangerous precedent for regime change. As a primary consumer of Iranian oil, China faces direct economic risk. Back-channel negotiations begin to facilitate a possible resolution. The administration proposes a 4-week timeline for the operation. History suggests the kinetic phase is merely the beginning of an unpredictable chapter. The regional war of attrition has fundamentally altered the geopolitical landscape.